Have you ever taken a photo at f/22 and you think, all right, now everything is going to be sharp and in focus, but when you zoom in, you find out that your image is actually kind of soft, and you wonder what went wrong. You nailed the focus, you're using a sharp lens, and also using a high-tech camera. So what is the problem? The answer is diffraction. Diffraction is a physics law, physics phenomenon that simply says that when light travels through a narrow opening, something like a narrow aperture, like f/22, 32, 64, when it reaches that edge of that narrow opening, let's say the aperture blades, it's gonna spread around. It doesn't go straight. These spreaded lights are gonna interfere with each other and cause softness. Diffraction in macro photography is very serious because it can totally destroy your image if you don't understand it. In today's video, I'm going to explain what really is diffraction and why it can seriously affect your macro photography, and more importantly, how to avoid it and still get a beautiful depth of field. When you're using a wide aperture like 2.8 or f4 or 5.6, the light that enters the camera goes straight. That's why you get a sharper image compared to f/22, 32, or 64. The diffraction slightly starts at f11, but when you use apertures like 16, 22, 32, when the light hits the aperture opening, it starts bending at the edge of the aperture and spreads before hitting the sensor. Instead of a sharp, perfect point, it produces a blurry pattern called iridesque. And this iridesque is gonna cause the diffraction or the overall softness of your image. And this blur is gonna reduce the fine details in your image. And you need to understand that this is not a focus problem, or it is not a lens quality issue. It is physics. Diffraction affects all kinds of photography: landscape, portraits, product photography, but in macro photography, it is more noticeable. And why is that so? What is the reason? Because in macro photography, we use narrow apertures like f11, f16 because depth of field, or DOF, is very shallow, it's very small. When you shoot at 1:1 magnification, even f8 is gonna give you just a few millimeters of depth of field. So many photographers just jump to f16 or 22 to increase depth of field, and this is where diffraction becomes stronger. Another reason for diffraction is high magnification. High magnification amplifies softness. When you're shooting at 1:1 or higher magnification, you're magnifying tiny details. Any softness caused by diffraction becomes more visible because you're actually zooming in on a blur. And the closer you get to your subject, you're gonna get a greater diffraction. And there's something that some photographers don't pay any attention to, and that is effective aperture. At 1:1 magnification, your aperture is actually greater than what it shows on your camera. For example, if you're shooting at f11, your effective aperture is going to be 16 or even more. And this means that the diffraction is much greater than what you see. And that is why most macro shots taken at f/22 lack details and have an overall softness. Now let's take a look at this table of effective apertures at different magnification. We are looking at this table. This is effective aperture table, and you can see that at magnification of 1:1 with the f4 lens, your effective aperture is 8 instead of 4. And when you go to a narrower aperture, your f4 lens is going to become f11. And if you go with a 2:1 magnification, the lens at f4 is going to be f16, and your effective aperture at f8 is going to be 24. So this is how effective aperture works when you are dealing with macro photography at 1:1 or higher magnification. When it comes to macro photography, wider aperture is going to give you more detail and less depth of field, or DOF. And using apertures like f11, 16, 22 gives you more depth of field, but it's gonna cause kind of a softness and loss of detail. So which one has the priority? Sharpness or depth of field? In macro photography, depth of field is not the main goal, but sharpness is. So in order to have a proper macro, we need to find a balance between sharpness and depth of field. The point is, in macro photography, you cannot totally get rid of diffraction, but you can control it. Now let's get to the point of avoiding diffraction. You cannot eliminate diffraction. It's a law of physics. But instead, you have to learn how to control it. So stop shooting at f/22. This is the biggest mistake that you can make. And instead, try to shoot at apertures like 5.6, 8, and sometimes 11. And it's a good idea to test your lens and find the sharpest f-stop or the sweet spot of your lens. For many macro setups, f8 is the perfect balance between sharpness and depth of field. Another solution is focus stacking. It simply means that you take multiple images of the same subject at different focus planes and then put these together in an editing software and just create one sharp image from the foreground to the background. You can shoot at f8 or even 5.6 and take something like 50, 80, 100 shots of your subject, and at the end you get this image that has the sharpness and also has the depth of field at the same time. And that is one of the best methods to make a balance between depth of field and sharpness in macro photography. Editing softwares like Helicon Focus and Photoshop gives you the ability to stack these images together, and it's very simple and it's very practical. If you want to know more about focus stacking, you can watch this video of mine over here. You can do focus stacking manually, or some cameras like Nikon Z6 III that I'm using, you can set it up automatically to take these shots. I'm going to give you a tip to get a better depth of field. Try to have your subject parallel to the front of your lens as much as possible. This way you get a better DOF, and naturally you get a sharp image when you have your subject parallel to the front of your lens. In macro photography, sharpness comes from choosing smart choices like the right aperture, focus stacking, composing your frame strategically, and most importantly, it's controlling light. My next video is gonna cover the techniques to light your macros using strobes and speedlights. Now I'm going to take a couple of shots using wider apertures like 5.6 or 8, and take another one with a narrower aperture like f22, 32. Then we're going to compare these photos together and just find out how diffraction affects your image. Now we are in Lightroom, and let's take a look at the photos I just took. This is taken at f11, and as you can see, the front of the car is sharp, but as soon as we go to the back of the car, the depth of field becomes shallow, and this one was taken at f32, and you can see that depth of field is much better, but still the back of the car is not in focus. And if we compare these two together, let's take a look at them at 200 magnification. You can see that the one taken at f11 is sharper, and that's because of diffraction. So when you go with narrower apertures, you get a greater diffraction, and it results in overall softness in your image. As I mentioned in the video, you can get a greater depth of field just by positioning your subject parallel to your lens as much as possible. Change the position of the car, and as you can see, I get a greater depth of field compared to this one. As I mentioned in the video, the best technique is focus shift. And over here you can see I have a perfect depth of field and the sharpest image by just taking something like 35, 37 photos and merge them together in Photoshop to get this single sharp image that you can see on the screen. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully you found it useful, and if you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I post a new video every week on Monday or Tuesday, and by subscribing you won't miss any of the upcoming videos. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comments and I'll be more than happy to answer them. And as usual, take good care of yourself, keep shooting. I'll see you soon. Cheers.